Welcome, guys, to episode 8. Already episode 8. Crazy, innit? But we're getting there. So I've got some questions that I'm going to ask. I'm going to turn my phone on silent. And I've got a few comments I'm going to answer at the same time, okay? And hopefully we can get through a few today. So I've got a good question coming here. So I like this one as well because it's quite an hard question to answer. So it says, got a question for you for your show, mate. Obviously, they stopped making the Fathom 15 Mark 1 and the BG 20 and 30. What would you turn to if you had no options and couldn't get hold of any of the mentioned? Which I was going to answer. And then he put, to make it more interesting, PS, only new models, basically. I screenshotted it so they had them in order. PS, something current, he put. So, right. So, it's going to be a really hard one. A really hard one. I mean, you can't get the Sotiga lever drag, Sotiga ones now. You can only get them in lever drag. Now, for me personally, I've tried lever drag and I didn't get on with it fully. I don't know if I didn't give it enough time. And I was speaking to Gav when I was over in Norway, and I said, you know what? I think if I come over again, over there especially, I would go for lever drag because I could leave it on like a run mode, and then I could turn it into like fight mode, and then I could turn it into lock off mode. So if I got a fish, instead of having this back dagging off the star drag, I could just flip it straight into the next gear. Some of them have different settings on them, don't they? So you can set it accordingly. Now, I don't know. So I've got that. I could have that option. I've got an option of a casting special Fathom. I've got an option of a Achios Nitron. I'll give my honest opinion. Many years ago, we were given a prototype of the Achios Nitron, and I never knew at the time. It caused me a lot of grief, if I'm honest, a lot of unneeded grief, because I was asked to do a review. So Jerry's obviously got hold of me and said, Andy, would you mind doing a review on these two reels? Do something special. So I said, yeah, what reels? And they said the Nitron versus casting special. So they sent both reels out to me, and I said, yeah, no problem at all. So I went out, I got a load of lads together, good anglers, and we went and covered the reels. And what we found on the first models, the line was going into the side of the spool. But they're very, very smooth and very nice. And it was only that one thing about them which obviously let the reel down. So that in theory, the casting special beat it back in. Having said that, now I was aware later on that we were sent a prototype of it. Okay, and unfortunately, we didn't get to test the original, the finished product. And yeah, obviously, I was using the casting specials after that, and I'm not a fan, guys. They're right for the first 12 months. And they start falling apart. They're not made the same way as they used to be. The pens. I don't feel those casting specials. I don't know what the new Fathom 2s are like, but I don't personally. They're not going to be made the same as the original Mark 1s, unfortunately. So I've got options, and So what else could I go for? So I got the choice of a Nitron, the new ones, which I cast one when I was over in the Isle of Wight, and to be honest, nice reel. The casting special out of the box, a nice reel. What else have I got the options for? I mean, the Dow will do a new Seagate, which I haven't tried yet. Personally speaking, I've got to answer that question truthfully and honestly. I think I would go for a black and blue. Not that I'm a big fan of the black and blues, but just for the simple fact of the quality, and I'd have to get them magged, so I wouldn't be out of the box. They wouldn't be out of the box perfect. So if the question you're asking me out of the box, it's going to be an hard one, a very hard one. It's an hard one. I would go for the black and blues probably, the Daiwa black and blues, the Sotists, and yeah. I can't say no more. I mean, I think out of the box wise, I think the Nitron looked alright. I don't know what it'd be like over long periods of time. I've never used them. As I could say, I used the casting special for that time, and I just it didn't stand up for me, if I'm honest. The use and abuse I put it through and stuff like that, you could just tell of it. It wasn't the same reel as the original Fathoms, which is a shame really, because it's a nice spool. You know what I mean? And they just missed that couple of things with it, really, didn't they? But yeah, I would say the black and blue. I'd have to go for the black and blue. I can't think of anything else in the market. There's probably some Shimano reels out there as well to look at, but I'm a big fan of Daiwa, if I'm honest. I don't think you can go wrong with the reels. I'm a big fan of Penn, but sadly Penn's let himself down over the last few years, I believe personally, and yeah, it's one of them. But I personally, because I haven't tried a lot of the other reels, the black and blue would be the one for me. So yeah, I hope that answers your question there, Matt. So the next one we got. Can you tell us a fishing story and include the venue looking to fish new places? Stuart. Okay, Stuart, so fishing story, where do I start? Fishing story. And you want a venue to go with it. Okay, so many. There's so many, and you're looking to fish new places. I don't know where you are and what neck of the woods you're in, but I'm going to do something a little bit more local to me. So down in the heart of South Devon, there's a place called Salcombe. That's a proper little story to start off, that, isn't it? And once upon a time in Salcombe. But yeah, it's you've got Upper Becks car park. That's what I would look at for. So you're looking at the Salcombe side, not the East Portimount side. And there's a place known as Staro Bay. It's a little bit of a walk, but it's a really good place to fish. I would recommend going out on flat conditions first to get your whereabouts and stuff like that. Definitely go with friends and definitely wear good footwear. I mean, the rocks can be quite slippy. It's a bit of a hike and stuff, but you basically park at the Inner Becks car park, and you park in one of the trust places. As you come in and start going up the hill, I'd park on the left hand side somewhere, and then you take your first left and you follow the coastal path up and around, and you come up some steps like a wall, be like an archway. And you can look across at the bay. If you look straight across opposite you, that's known as Staro Bay. So basically you walk down around the cove, you start walking up the incline. Don't go too early, that's a tip I'll give you. Keep going to the left. And as you come up over the top, you'll see a pathway going down through. And you'll see it follow all the way down towards the water. Just follow it down through and you come to some ledges at the bottom. Really get about 4 anglers there with 2 rods each. Any more than that, it becomes a pain in the backside. But I once got it from the magazine, Total Sea Fishing, and I remember it. And my old mate Nick Panther, the sausage he is, he should be on Sausage Watch for this if he's watching. So I read the magazine, he'd done an article with Darren Eddy. Darren would be watching this as well. And it was called The Eye of the Storm, okay? Darren took him out there in southwesterly winds, raging conditions, and Staro can fish its absolute tits off in those kind of conditions. And they bagged up on it, got a lovely article and stuff like that. So obviously we were fishing a lot of the Bristol Channel on that back then, like going chasing the rays and stuff. And I messaged him and said, "That's Staro, do you know where it is?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You said about the car park, I get the just idea of it." I said, "How would you get there?" And he said, "You go along, you go down one incline, you go up the other, you go down another incline, you go up the other, and you go down, and you do that 3 times on the left." So I was like, right. So we get there, we get to the top, we go down one incline, we go up the top, we go down another incline, we go to the bottom. It was another time, done that 3 times, look to the left, walk down, and there's a massive cliff going down to this bottom, down to the water. And I was like, this isn't the place. No way. It was like, no way, that is definitely not the place. Anyway, we went down. 3 of us, me, Shane Clark, and I think it was Lee Greenaway, either Lee or Scott. And we basically walked all the way back along the cliff edges, and it was manic. And we come to the bay opposite, and as soon as we seen the island stacked to the right hand side of us, we knew where we were because it was in the magazine. And yeah, that was the story for Panther, a little git. And yeah, we fished it. We had mixed species. To be honest, we had a lot of different mixed species that evening. We had 4 back rays, nothing massive. And then I'll never forget one day, it was like a southwesterly breeze, and it was like raging weather. And me and my mate Scott was there, and I said, you know what? And I had these lovely ammo blue sand deals just come through back in the early Team Ammo days. And I said to Scott, you know what? We get down there now and hammer that. It's like the winds and that conditions are perfect. So we got down there, and the water was coloured. I thought, we're going to hammer this today, and I'll never forget it. And we went down, and those swells were coming up to the right a little bit too much. We went to the left, and we set one rod up and started casting into the bay. And I'd small-eyed first cast, right? Brung it in. I didn't have a chance to set my rod up and put another reel on, chucked it back out, small-eyed. We had them to 10 pounds 6 ounces that day. And it was one after another. I've experienced some sessions like it since in places, but back then it was just one session what stood out from the rest. There's so many rays. So I'll never forget. It was the following year. The conditions were similar, and we went down, and the water, we hit it too early. Water weren't murky enough, and I had one double-figure bullets out all day. It's all we had, and this thing come in, and it was so skinny. And as I was walking back about 2 o'clock in the morning, it was coming towards the end of the year, if I believe correctly. And I seen Alex from Sakuma. He was on his way down. He said, "What's the water like?" I said, "It was a little bit coloured. It wasn't massively coloured." I don't know how they got on that night anyway, but. No, so we left it the week, and it was big winds, southwesterly winds and stuff. And I said to Scott, it's Friday night. I said, you know what, we're getting down there. So we went down there, and it was the only time I've ever had spotted a thornback, a small eye, and a blonde in the same session. And it fished its absolute tits off that night, and I mean absolute tits off. We went from there and went back to a beach mark. We went back there again, and then we had a few hours kipping the car. And then we've done 3 nights of it in total, just like going backwards and forwards. But it's an absolutely fantastic area. I mean, some of the stories I can tell you. I remember sitting there one night, and I come down with my gear on, and there was a local guy fishing to the left-hand side, and he come. Sorry, I was there first. That was a different incident. And he come down over the hilltop, and he's like, oh. And he was like, I was going to go there. I was a bit late, we're already in, mate. I said, the ledge is to the left there. He said, I know it, I live here. I thought, yeah, right. Anyway, he carried on, and he said, what are you down here targeting then? I said, I'm down here after a blonde. And it was like early November time. And he said, oh, you'll never see one of them. I've never seen one of them down here. I'll never forget it. And Lindsay was with me, my missus. And she had a thornback out, and she had a smooth hound out that evening. And I just kept on and on. And next minute, it's got about 11 o'clock in the evening. My head rod's gone over, started taking off line, got into it, bang, straight up. And it wasn't massively rough, but it was rough enough. And I said to her, just grab the trace and just hold the trace. And so where she got it. And so she got hold of the trace. I come down over, grabbed all the trace, took it over. I told her to get up out of the way, got hold of the fish. And as I was coming back up, mate, he had his headlight shining across. So what was that? I said, blonde ray, mate. And he just looked, shook his head like that, just walked away, never forget it. But obviously, back in the old days, everybody kept it as like a hidden gem, because it's a nice place to fish. But I personally recommend it for people because it's an easy rock venue to fish, and it's safe enough as long as you use decent footwear and you go and you're sensible about it. It's a venue you'll see a lot of different mixtures fish off. I mean, I only tend to fish it these days for place and stuff, just due to obviously over the years experience what size fish there. I mean, you always got a chance of good smalleye there, but apart from that, I mean, I know other places to go where you've got a chance of a better smalleyes than there really. But obviously the same as with blondes and stuff like that. But it's a magical place. It's a lovely place to fish, and I've got some fantastic memories of sleeping in we took a tent down there one evening. And all the lads, I was fishing and constantly catching fish, and some of the other ones weren't casting as far as me, and they got fed up because they weren't catching, and they went up, and there was 3 of them asleep in this tent. And then by the time I got up there and thought, you know what, I'm going to get a few hours shut-eye, I went up there and they had rolled over and the tent was on its side, and I'll never forget it. And I thought, you know what, they could have a tent. I went back down and just carried on fishing and just sat there and just got some shut-eye on the rocks there. But no, if you want a fishing story, there's the fishing story. And to be honest, someone did mention the other week I should do more fishing stories. But it was a question I'd come in, I thought I'd answer at the same time. But yeah, hopefully I wasn't too boring for you all. But yeah, Sterile Bay, Salcombe, and yeah, as I said, that's one memory of many I'll tell you another one about Sourworthy and Panther one day. But yeah, there you go, guys. Hope that one helps. So, Stu, sorry. What we got here now? Can you recommend a decent set of waders, Andy, from Alex? So, waders. I've got. So I have two different types of waders. I've got footing waders, which I like because they're easy. I mean, if you want to go for a pee, you ain't got to keep juggling your straps down and stuff like that when you're fishing. They're very waterproof. I mean, they're not cheap, but I've got the Snowby ones, and no, sorry, I lie. I've got the Sierra ones, and I've got a pair of Grubbs boots, a size bigger. Sorry, I've got them in 11s. And they work a treat, to be fair. And I need to get a new pair because I've pinched them with a hook somewhere and they let in a little bit of water. But those ones there, I'll cut the bottoms off and I'll use them as fishing trousers afterwards because they're ideal, guys. Obviously, especially if I take a car or something, I don't want to get obviously muck all over the like fish stuff all over me and stuff and get in the car. They're ideal for it. But I've got to give credit where credit's due. Best pair of waders I've had, and I've had them over and over again, are the Vast Breathables. Very, they're quite expensive now, but they are very, very good. I mean, sometimes when you walk in and you get normal waders and stuff, they could be really sweaty and stuff. Those Breathables are lovely, absolutely lovely. Just a lovely wader, very comfortable. Got all the zips and everything you need for them and stuff. And to be honest, I'm going to get another pair of them again. I was going to get a pair before I went to Norway, but I need to order a pair soon. Because my other ones come to the end sadly, but I've had Mark 1s and Mark 2s since they've come out, and those Mark 2s have only just come to their end now, and so I've probably had those Mark 2s since they come out. So you're going back a fair few years now. So yeah, definitely for me personally, mate, I would go for the Vast ones. If I had the choice out of the two, it'd be definitely the Vast Breathables. So I hope that helps. So we got Jake now. If you could get any angler on Angling Profiles, who would it be? Any angler? Yorkie. It'd have to be Rob. I mean, he used to do all the that sort of stuff. But he's come away from it a little bit now. Everybody obviously knows who he is and what a fantastic angler and stuff like that he is. But he's not big-headed with it, and he don't like promoting himself. And it's hard sometimes because he's an angler which everybody would learn from. I mean, I was talking to him earlier on the phone, and he's just he comes across really well. He's got a really good sense of humour, but even his fishing, I can't even express what we were talking about earlier on. But he had me in stitches on the phone. But yeah, he was just talking about some old times and stuff like that. But it's, for me personally, I would love to get sat down here or sat down with wherever. And for you as viewers, not just for me, because I've heard a lot of stories before, but some of the stories and adventures he's had over the years and the funny moments and stuff like that, and not just the funny moments, some of the serious times and that as well through fishing. I mean, he could tell you some stories, and could tell you some stories, and it'd make good viewing. You know what I mean? Top rods and specimen on there. Mark, I'd like to do Pricey. I'd like to do something on Mark. I've never done anything on him like that. I've been fishing him a few times and stuff like that, and obviously, but to cover his angling background and put across that sort of side of his angling to you. Another one's Martin Larkins. Larkins, I'd like to do on one. I've approached him a few times over the years, but never got anything put together. I mean, I'll have to push Matt a little bit. Get on, Matt. Tell him. But he, good anglers at the end of the day. I think that's the main thing to say. But for Angling Profile, like a question asked, Rob all day long. I mean, I think you just sit here and laughing most of the time because it's comical, some of it. He's just a nice guy, and he just comes across really funny. I wish I could tell you, but I can't. But I can't. I really can't. But if I get him on one of these episodes, because he'll know what we were talking about earlier as well, so he'll be laughing if he's watching this. He'll be able to tell. But one of them. But so that's the answer to that question. So what else have we got here? So that was Angling Profiles. So we got a couple of questions come in. Say questions, like comments basically, from stuff I've done before. So I've got, hi Andy, I never strike. About 30 years ago, I went over to a field with my mate. This is from Peter. We measured out 100 yards and we held on to the lead and the other one struck. The lead hardly moved. It was an eye-opener. Ever since then, I've never struck. So, interesting that, Peter. Because, I don't know, I always reel in to feel the fish and I always give that pull. And I expect I do it, and the same as most of us do it, to thinking we're setting the hook. But you're probably right, over that distance, that tug, I mean, I suppose as long as it comes forward a little bit, you're obviously setting the hook. But it's an interesting fat gap. And to be honest, it'd make a good video, wouldn't it, for us all to have a look at. So, do you know what, mate? I might even do a video on that, because that's quite interesting stuff in what you just said there. See how much difference it really makes. I mean, see if I get Adam one weekend or one weekday or something, we go down the field, we'll cast the lead out, and then get one of us holding it, and then getting us one filming it from one side when he struck, and the other on the opposite side, just to see what it's doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, interesting stuff, mate. Interesting stuff. And then we've got another comment. Brilliant video, Andy, mate. I'm getting on well with my moties now. This is from Zimmer. With help from yourself, mate, I can now cast my slosh with no bird's nests or issues. Got to thank you for putting the time and effort into putting up the casting guide and tips. Have noticed I'm over in Wales. I rarely see people using braid. We mostly use heavy mono and strong leaders. And I run Varavus Yellow Sport 25 pound. Usually with a heavy leader, we have a good few sausages down here. Though took my mate fishing last week. He's quite new, he's getting used to casting, he's doing well, but 2 sausages next to us laughing every time he casts, making jokes every time they cast their moties if they were overrun or birdieing. There are some right Burks fishing these days, unfortunately. Brilliant video though, mate. Loving the Q&As. Thank you, mate. I'm glad you enjoy it, and sorry to hear that about you, mate. I mean, unfortunately, they're all in the world these days, aren't they? I mean, the world's full of them, unfortunately, and I think it's something that we've all got to put up with. I mean, I've had some really, really nice messages over the past couple of days, and I had one today. I'm not going to tell you who it was from, because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but he said, "Hi mate, just want to say well done. Take some balls calling somebody out. Hopefully what's happened shoots them down a peg or two." I've had loads of them. I've had loads of them, and as I said before, guys, I don't want it on it. I don't want it on the channel. I really don't want it on the channel. It's stuff that I personally don't want to see on the channel. I don't feel that people want to watch it on the channel and that. And I reckon a good few people will get to like what I'm talking about now and probably turn off, and good riddance. I mean, a lot of people don't want to hear about that, and I don't want to hear about that, if I'm honest. But at the same time, there's a lot of people on the channel and that, and obviously maybe new YouTubers and stuff like that, and maybe people will get abused in life on the internet and stuff. And what I've done really is for them, because I'm for myself in a way, because you get to a stage, like Panther said to me the other day, and we had a conversation on the phone, and he's like, just take it off, mate, you don't need it, you know what I mean, you don't need it on there. And the trouble, like I said to Panther, it's right, you're saying that, but it doesn't go away, okay? I've gone through that over the years. I've gone on and on and on, just try to ignore, and they never go away. They never go away. But I'm telling you something now, I haven't had no issues since I put that video out, okay? One person, what was obviously brought up there in Wales, has gone like that, because he was on the internet the other day putting loads of comments and writing bits and pieces like that, thinking he was all big and clever, and suddenly he's gone like that. I've got ever messages, and it's surprising really, from people I don't know personally, but people from Wales what know this individual, and some of the stuff I've been sent over to use if it ever goes into another sausage watch is absolutely unreal. I mean, I can't believe the amount of feedback I've had come through about that. And I think I've been congratulated by people for doing and saying stuff which other people in Wales wanted to say for many years and stuff like that. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're gonna act big and clever and sort of head on your shoulders about things, you can't have a past. and especially if you've got a past like what was brought up in the video, because at the end of the day, you can't go around slagging people off and causing issues for everybody else, and have that sort of thing hanging over your shoulder, which is going to pop up and bite you in the backside. And I think it's shown at the end of the day. I mean, it's one of them. And like I said, guys, I don't want to be doing that sort of stuff. But to be honest, it was interesting. It was something a bit different for the channel. I mean, I had a few boys from Wales message me telling me it was YouTube gold and it was the best stuff I've ever produced. So Kane Iden, you can shut up as well. But yeah, I mean, guys, I haven't spoken to the regular for ages. You know what I mean? And people were like, obviously enjoyed watching it. I mean, it's popcorn for a lot of people. They're not interested in who it's about and stuff like that. It's just entertainment, isn't it? I mean, you see them all online when they're writing comments and stuff, blah, 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 like that, and people just sit there writing popcorn and just like liking and laughing at comments, like, look at these sausages going on. And yeah, a lot of people probably will watch that episode and think, God blimey, they're acting like kids. But unfortunately, I totally agree. As I said in the email, I was hoping that afterward, I was hoping that we could get over it and not go on like kids on the internet, but unfortunately there was no other way. And some of the stuff that was brought up in that video, I've had messages come through in that, and I was right with some of the stuff I said about what people were telling me to do with past businesses and stuff, which was basically told within the video that and told I was given false information and I was thinking of someone else. And shame, it is a shame, but life goes on, guys. Life goes on, and yeah, as I said, for those of you who watched it, and those of you that obviously do suffer from that type of stuff going on in life, it's not on, and don't ever think it is wrong. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't have to live and put up with that. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, if it was just for if it wasn't for this channel, I wouldn't be saying a thing, because at the end of the day, I try and keep Single Adventures as a professional production sort of thing. You know what I mean? So it's at the end of the day, you need to. You've got kids watching it, you've got people, you've got ladies watching it, you've got men watching it, and people don't want to sit there and watching that kind of behaviour all over the internet on that, and I don't either. You know what I mean? And that's why Single Adventures, this channel, is, like I said, it's behind the scenes. It's the only way to describe it. It's whatever goes on behind the scenes. And a lot of people were like, making me laugh. Matey Well said, you do talk a lot of rubbish, but I do sit there and watch it. And it is, isn't it? It's one of them. But look, that's what the channel's about, guys. It's about, obviously, having a bit of banter, having a bit of laughs and jokes, and sharing fishing stories and stuff like that. Now, I don't mind doing a fishing story once a week or once a month or whatever, if people are enjoying it. If you're enjoying that sort of thing and you want me to do it, I'm quite happy to do it. But if there's any content that you want to see me put onto this show, please do. I mean, I had someone say the other day they'd like to see a podcast. And I'd like to do a podcast, but the trouble is you've got to get other people and stuff like that, and it's a lot of harder work. And obviously, I come home from work, I can sit down and I can sit talking a load of rubbish to you lot for an hour or two. You know what I mean? It's easy, isn't it? I know there's a few of you saying, yeah, it's easy for you because you talk a load of, you know what I mean? But I don't know. But yeah, there's lots we could do. I could do some stuff on. I'm going to be doing some stuff on rigs, knots, and general bits and pieces like that as I make some rigs up in the next couple of weeks. Do plan to get out the weekend somewhere, so hopefully we can do something on that. And yeah, away you go. But guys, I do hope you're enjoying the production. As I said, if there's anything you want to see, please feel free to write in the comments. And if there's any questions you would like answered to go into the next episodes, be sure to do so, because those episodes are rapidly getting on more and more and more. So I can see a lot of new faces and subscribers coming on for the first time, enjoying the content, and that's what it's about. But I'll tell you a little story before I go. I was going to leave it to the next time, but another one for Panther, he's watching. So he'd done one many years on the secret beach in the Bristol Channel, which we talked about the other day, and I wanted to fish it. So they had a DVD out at the time and all stuff like this, right? And I wanted to fish it. Gone back in my earlier days, so I'm watching the total sea fishing and all stuff like that. I used to love total sea fishing. Anyway, I messaged him about it. He ignored me completely, and I thought, it's alright, don't you worry, I'll find it. So I went on Google Earth and I looked all around the Bristol Channel, and I mean for days trying to find it. And it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sat there. My mate sat there next to me watching the telly, and there was film all over, and I've got it. It was pitch black because the laptop's there. I'm looking, and I was looking for this red telephone box in a car park. and I found it. I tell you what, my little boy, who was young at the time, this is going back how long ago it was, right? And I jumped up going, yes, I've got it. Mrs. coming running down the stairs going absolutely mental. You woke the kids up. I was like, oh, yeah, all right. So I said to Scott, we got it. So the following day, we got up, and we never had no waiters or nothing. So we decided to get wetsuits. We went up in wetsuits. And it was a good. To be honest, I never had a wetsuit. He had a wetsuit on. I had shorts and t-shirt and just got wet feet. But it was a good day. And I messaged Pam when we got back with the photos and showed him the fish we caught. And he said, "Found it then." I was like, "Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Wait till the next time he asked me for a menu." But nah, it wasn't funny. But yeah, good old days. But maybe I'll do some talks on that, some of the old stories and that, going back from like doing the Southwest 360 stuff and the Line Junkies Team Ammo stuff, and obviously when I joined 24/7 with Pat Nick, and yeah, some of the other obviously early Sea Angle Adventure days and stuff like that. So there's plenty of like old stories in that to tell. But to be honest, I don't know if people want to listen to them. I mean, I had that one there, but someone mentioned the other day about doing a story time, and I thought I can't go doing that. You know what I mean? I don't mind adding one into the Q&As each time or stuff like that, but I don't want to be sitting there just talking a load of rubbish about old fishing tales on camera for like 2 hours every time. You know what I mean? I won't get no views for that, will I? But guys, hope you enjoyed the production, and don't forget, if you want to see anything, be sure to write in the comments. And if you like even reviews and stuff, I can put posts out there if people around me have got those products. Like, to be honest, I'd love to do one on the M4 GT. So if anyone local's got an M4 GT and they wouldn't mind getting together with me, I wouldn't mind doing a little review on that. Because I want to compare it to the T900 for glass tips. Someone said about it, it's a perfect rod for Norway, but I've never cast one, so I can't give my honest opinion. So yeah, do stay tuned. A lot more to come.